morning, folks. Welcome back to Three's End this morning. I think we'll start the day out with a joke. I just love telling jokes anyway, and there's a lot of them blend in with the stories I share with you. So, it seems like this pilot had been given the day off, or he took a day of leave, whatever. And he's at home, and he's doing some things around the house he'd been meaning to get done, and his wife had gone to work. Now, this guy and his wife didn't have any children. All they had was this pet cat, and they'd had this pet cat for 7, 8, 9 years, whatever it was. Anyway, this guy's working around the house, and come around 9 o'clock, he decides to have a beer because it had to be 5 o'clock somewhere, and the other thing was, since he didn't have anything else to do, and he wasn't an alcoholic, what's the big deal about having a beer at 9 o'clock? So he has a beer, and then when he finishes, it's getting a little warmer out, so he decides, my gosh, I might have another one, and so forth. That's just kind of the way it goes. Well, anyway, around mid-morning or so, or late morning, I guess, he walks in the house and discovers their cat, Tabby, had died. Just laying there on the floor, deader than a doornail. Just tragic. So he goes over the phone, he picks up the phone, he calls his wife. She's at work, as I mentioned, and he says, honey, he says, I hate to tell you this, but Tabby just died. He says, don't know what else to tell you. Well, she was shocked, as you might imagine. I mean, she loved this cat, and so be it. Anyway, like I said, she was at work, so she couldn't talk long, and she kind of hopped off the phone, and this guy went back to his business around the house, taking care of chores and so forth, and drinking beer. So she comes rolling in about 4:30 or so, and he's there in the house, and she comes rolling into the kitchen and says, I want you to sit down. She says, I have something to say to you. So he walks over and sits down. By now, he's half in the bag. He sits down at the kitchen table, and she rolls in on him. She says, she says, you are so damn insensitive. She says, we've had Tabby for 7 or 8 years now, and you call me up and say, honey, Tabby died. Now, how would you like it if I did something like that to you? And he's sitting there he doesn't have a defense. So she continues on. She says, she said, you could have been a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more caring about the whole thing. She says, you could have said, called up and said, honey, I've got some news for you. It's a little frightening. Tabby's up on the roof. Now, don't worry about it. I've called the fire department, and they're on their way. And they should have Tabby down in no time at all. And then give it maybe 20 minutes or so, half hour, and then call me back and say, honey, when the firemen got up there to get Tabby off the roof, it frightened her, and she jumped out of their arms and hit the ground pretty hard. And she's injured, but I'm on the way to the vets. So don't worry about it. We're going to do everything we can. And then maybe wait a little bit longer, and maybe another half hour, 45 minutes, and then call me back and say, honey, the vet did everything he could for Tabby, but Tabby just didn't make it. She'd been injured too hard. Well, now he's sitting there just kind of taking one blow after another, but she's making sense to him. And she says, anything would have been a lot better than, honey, your cat just died. And he sits there, and he kind of agreed with her. And she says, you have anything to say for yourself? And he says, no, dear. He says, you're absolutely correct. He says, I could have handled that a lot better. And she says, well, in the future, try to be a little bit more sensitive, will you? He says, I can do that. So she turns to leave the room, and he says, honey, he says, I have something else I need to tell you. And she turned and looked at him and said, what's that? He says, well, I got a call about 30 minutes ago from your brother, and it seems like your mother's up on the roof. Sorry. Anyway, enjoy the day.